there you are. Oh, sorry to wake you. It's 9:30 in the morning. Come on, Rex, let's go. Rex, let's go. Put one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor.
A little bit of a treat for you this morning, Steve and T-Rex. If you could do the triple hop for us with a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a out the door. Look at the treat. Nothing to get tangled on in the yard. Yay. I put it all over here and over there. And no doubt you'll get tangled in it somehow, regardless. 58 degrees here, past 9:30 a.m. on this just all of a sudden glorious Saturday. 15th nice Saturday in a row in southeastern New England, most specifically Cape Cod and Nantucket, where those September 6th storms missed. Otherwise, it's 14 out of 15 for most of New England having a nice Saturday. It was an overcast start to the day, sort of a almost altocumulus, stratocumulus marine layer, but you can see it's burning off and the boats are zipping through the water. And this is the calm before the storm. Yesterday I was ready to sort of ramp down on the storm, but since then the guidance has come in more bullish in the last 24 hours. So I'm glad we only do the weather here every 24 hours. And why it takes me an hour, or it would take me an hour if I had my way, it could be because the weather is coming at us from Africa, from south of Hawaii, from east of Alaska, from Florida. You want to see what it looked like in Florida? Well, not what it looked like, but the storm report's already coming in for this developing cyclogenesis Florida, under the gun again for flash flooding, and all the way down to Key West, Florida. Marine wind gust to 40 miles an hour, somewhat unusual in Key West. That's how far south the high pressure system that came in 2 days ago pushed the front, and now the front is bouncing back like it's on a trampoline, and it's going to come back with a vengeance. A lot of wind. There are so many moving parts. Anybody can just stand in front of a weather map and show you them all and talk for a half hour. I memorized them, and I think the first thing I want to show you is the map for this morning at 5 a.m. We'll get to the full sequence later, but what really sticks out is that low to the west of New England, right near Toronto, and you have the H to the east of New England. That high is the cold high moving out, but now there's a new, not quite as cold, high pressure system over Ontario, which is going to come in and fuel, sort of fan the fire of the merging of that low near Toronto and the low pressure system developing off of Georgia this morning. And just to complicate matters a little bit more, Tropical Storm Jerry, a little more organized this morning, says the National Hurricane Center. Looks like it's going to shed some of its energy. This is what it looks like from satellite, and you can see it looks like it's trying to attach itself to the old front that is stalled now with post-subtropical storm Karen way up off the map over there in Europe, and this front goes all the way to the Florida Keys, as we've talked about so many times. So there may be some Jerry infusion of energy, although Jerry itself is expected to remain a tropical storm doing the Jerry curl to the east of Bermuda. Watching these clouds burn off. I looked at the webcam on Nantucket at about 9 o'clock this morning, the Dreamland webcam, and it showed just beautiful skies over Nantucket. And there on the left, there's that cloud over Cape Cod, which is also evaporating for a nice day today. And so all these moving parts are going to result in probably about a 48-hour nor'easter. These slow-moving storms do more damage sometimes than the tropical storms that come in, and they're in and out in less than 6 hours. Well, this is going to be an extensive storm. Let's show you the, I'm going to use Weymouth this time because it's fresh on my mind, the Weymouth meteogram, and you can see some sunshine today, and then the temperature pretty close to 70 in a few spots with the sun out today. And then on the backside of that low in Toronto, new cooler air, not cold enough for snow in our mountains, just missing that. California's getting that. We have rain developing tomorrow by midday, and it's going to continue, it looks like, right in through Tuesday afternoon or Tuesday night, and then we get a break on Wednesday. Then the wind and colder air comes back at us again on Thursday. With or without rain or elevation wintry mix is the question, and it looks like a storm is not developing for us next Friday and Saturday, but that is, jury is out on that. This is, by the way, the Euro guidance, and it shows more than 3 inches of rain for Weymouth. Now, I think that's the high end of the possibilities. What I want to do is start with the big satellite picture. No, the little satellite picture. There's the View from space of New England, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, looking beautiful. And I'm sure there's some fine foliage. Hoping you're enjoying that today. I mean, it's not every season, even the worst seasons, are still nice seasons. And anyhow, the cloud over southern New England, you can see it's kind of a stratiform cloud that is being burned off by the sun, even though it's a low sun elevation angle. There's not a lot of moisture in our atmosphere over southern New England, so it is a pretty nice day. And then if we widen out the satellite view here, on the left there, you can see the swirl. That is that low pressure system and sort of cool pool aloft from near the North Pole that's coming across, and that's going to kind of infuse some energy into our coastal system, which is now really expansive there. You can make out the swirl centered east of Florida with the clouds extending one cloud band all the way up here into southern New England. And there is a little bit of precipitation starting to show up in New Jersey. Here's the national radar. You have storms in the southwest. You have storms coming across the southwestern Canada. Looks like it's trying to snow in Colorado a little bit there. And then all that rain and wind and thunderstorms off of Florida, and a few specks starting to show up even near New Jersey. But today is mostly a dry day. And as I'm speaking here, I felt a little bit of a breeze from the east. So the easterly wind has developed in southern New England, and it's not going to become too strong until late tomorrow, and especially tomorrow night and Monday for the nor'easter wind. Let's go to the NAM now. This is a high-res product. It's not the high-res NAM, but it is higher res than the global models. This is just the regular NAM. And here it is, and the isobars, lines of equal pressure are tightening up as the new high goes into our north, and the old low over Toronto is not even really visible. And the precipitation, there it comes in about 15 Z tomorrow morning. That's about 11 o'clock in the morning. And the bands of rain, and the bands of rain, really difficult. If they stall over your house, you're going to be getting inches of rain every couple of hours. So it would probably be 1/2 to 1 inch per hour rainfall. So some flash flooding is not out of the question. That rain band tomorrow night. And then Monday, it's starting to lift north. You get the drying sort of a dry slot coming around the northern side of the low pressure system in southern New England on Monday. And the rain moves into New Hampshire and Maine on Tuesday, and this goes out now till 2 p.m. on Tuesday, and that rain band is now on the Maine coast. So there's been a lot of discussion. How far north is this going to get? I think that's a pretty good job where it gets to central Vermont, north central New Hampshire, and southern Maine to the Maine mid-coast. And that's the precipitation aspect to it. Now, how much precipitation? This is called the QPF, Quantitative Precipitation Forecast. And you can see the blues starting to show up here tomorrow morning. And then as it turns into the purple in spots, almost a reddish yellow, that would be 2 to 3 inches of precipitation in a fairly short time. The wind duration may be 48 hours, but the precipitation duration in any one spot could be more like 12 to 18 hours. And that rain band moves north, and that's the end there at 2 p.m. on Tuesday. This is an 84-hour product that initialized at 2 a.m. today. And if you put the cursor very close to my house near Boston, it shows a little over 2, maybe 2 to 2.5 inches, while the Euro is 3 to 3.5 inches. So let's call it a 2 to 4 inch rainstorm anywhere from about Killington, Vermont to Nantucket to Bar Harbor, Maine. And some of the areas that are on the west side of any hills could get shadowed, like the Pioneer Valley may get shadowed, where Worcester gets 2 or 3 inches, and then the Berkshires get 2 or 3 inches. And then down in Westfield, you only get something like 1/2 to 1 inch. So not everyone's going to get it, but southeastern New Hampshire, you've been missing these rains, should be in it. Wow, look at this sky all of a sudden. You see the moon up there? I already showed the moon, right? And how about the wind? Let's use the NAM for the wind. And the wind is really not a factor today. And the barbs show which way the wind is coming from, sort of like a gull. They point, no, they're more like a flag in the wind. I apologize. So the tail, where those lines attach, the long line is which way it's coming from, mostly east, northeast, about 80 or 90 degrees. And the little flags on there, 1 bar on the flag is 10 knots, 2 bars is 20 knots, 3 bars is 30 knots, and this is the sustained wind forecast. I want to stop it there and put the cursor over Eastham on Monday morning, and it shows sustained wind of 31 knots. This is Monday morning, so that's about 12 to 14 hours into the storm, with another 24 to 30 hours to go. So we'll put this back in motion. And by the way, the wind on the Euro and some of the other guidance is a little bit higher than this. So it could be sustained more like 35 to 40 knots, especially from Long Island Sound to Nantucket. And there's the wind keep on going. And then as the storm starts to pull out, or one of the storms starts to pull out, there are a couple of them, the wind comes down from the north on Tuesday. And this is the last product there, Tuesday at 2 p.m. And not much wind inland. The hills will be gusting 20 to 30, but it's really a coastal storm. Everybody gets the precipitation on that line south of Bar Harbor that I talked about, but the wind is mostly going to only cause damage right along the coast within 5-10 miles of the coast. And that's right in here. We are in the zone here in Weymouth for the wind, and that's one of the reasons that there's no more furniture left in the yard. And Steve, of course, did get himself tangled a little bit, and T-Rex is already up the stairs. And Steve doesn't look like to be in a hurry. And so there's not much I can do to protect my garden. I mean, stuff's going to fly around, but you can secure things like grills and porch furniture and stuff like that. And that's what I intend to do. I'm going to have to make a road trip to Cape Cod to winterize that house. All right, so the long-range guidance now. In the moving parts, there's so many different moving parts. Also got to keep an eye on those storms in Central America or just off to the west of Mexico and the Pacific Ocean. These are going to play a role in next week's pattern. It's going to be just sort of complicating the pattern. Now with former Hurricane Priscilla decaying there west of Baja Peninsula and Raymond, each of those bringing energy to the southwest and the southwestern United States, and that's going to be a new cool pool coming into California. The forecast for Mammoth, by the way, in California at 11,000 feet is for 30 inches of snow over the next 3 days. And usually when you get cold and snowy in the west coast, you get warm in the east coast, but the Greenland block, once again, if you haven't seen this, this is the forecast for the North Atlantic Oscillation, negative North Atlantic Oscillation, as those squirrely spaghetti red lines go below that flat line from left to right. That's the zero indice. So on the south, on the bottom of that zero indice is a -1, and the forecast, even though it's a spaghetti plot that's kind of all over the place, is for a -1 North Atlantic Oscillation. So that's going to make what happens in days 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 very complicated, because those storms coming on the west coast are going to try and push record warmth our way, but the Greenland block is going to try and prevent it, and it's going to do a really bad job with portraying where the fronts are going to be next Thursday, Friday. You'll see that in a moment as I now go to the Euro and back to that image that I said I was going to initialize with. This is the first image here at 5 o'clock this morning with the old cold high moving off to our east, and the new cold high, not quite as cold, but cold enough to cause problems, coming in from Ontario. And you get the lows there to our south, and you get storms there in the southwest, another storm in the southwest and the northwest. So many moving parts, and let's put it in motion. Move it, Tim, move it. And okay, here we go. Here comes the new high building to our north. The low near Toronto is kind of just dissolving, and is an upper level low that's going to kind of infuse some energy into the coastal. Cyclogenesis is developing, and there's the rain coming in tomorrow by midday. And I think this isn't quite far enough north, but boy, is it intense, isn't it? Tomorrow night. And then let's stop it. I want to stop it at 5 a.m. on Monday morning because of so many things to look at here. You have a low south of New England, and it is deepening again back into the 990s, around 995 looks like the bottom pressure. So it has intensified a bit since yesterday's forecast. But note there are two lows. There's one south of New England, and there's another one way down left over near South Carolina. So it's not as if we're tracking one single item, we're tracking pulses, and these pulses are going to change in the forecast as it evolves. It's going to be a play-by-play, and you have the high to our north. It looks like it's now about a 1030 high, and you don't see any 540 line. We're in about the 552 to 556 line, but there is going to be low-level cold being infused into this storm, so the temperature is going to be colder than the ocean. A lot of times you get these ocean storms, and it's going to be whatever the water temperature is, and by the way, thank you yesterday, Andrew, telling me that the Fore River here is 58-degree water, and the buoys are saying it's 60-degree water, but the temperature here is going to be in the low to mid 50s, even colder places like Worcester, Massachusetts with the rain, so our heat is going to come on. Okay, back into motion. We'll take this now through Monday, and you have that one low deepening to about 995 just south of New England. There's going to be the strongest wind coming in Monday night, and then look at the low to the south of Long Island is settling to the south on Tuesday, and the other low that was over South Carolina is moving to the east, and there's also almost a merge there, a little mini Fujiwara possible here on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, it looks like we have a gap with a major storm and snow in the higher elevations west driving into Canada. And that storm in Canada would want to push warmer air in our direction, but there's a new backdoor cold front and a storm at sea just off the map to the right with wind and a little wintry mix there, the 540 line, a little bit of purple showing up there Thursday morning, very windy and turning colder again on Thursday. And this is where I think that the rails are off the guidance, the rails are off the tracks, because that ocean storm could just as well back to the west, but instead it looks like that storm deepening into the 980s millibars, real almost like a plains cane with some blizzard conditions possible from North Dakota to Canada. That low looks like it wants to send record warm our way. So you have the 570 coming at us on Friday from the southwest and the 540 only easing out to the east. And we still have a northerly flow into next Saturday morning. And then here comes a warm front with a storm over the Great Lakes. A warm front tries to come in here on Sunday with heavy rain. It will be cold on the east side of the warm front, but if that warm front gets north of us, all of a sudden we're almost tropical-like, but I don't think this scenario is going to work out. This is the end here. Now I'm going to stop it at 8 a.m. on Monday because it has this 982 low. Is that what it is? Near Lake Superior. We've been talking about how there could be something really almost historic developing. That wouldn't be historic, but that's certainly a powerhouse. And it's trying to push warm air up the east coast, and it's running into the block there, and that's why it's so heavy rain again. Now this is Monday, October 20th at 8 a.m. Look at that heavy rain over New England. And that storm could just as well be east of Nantucket as over Lake Superior due to the uncertainty of how the Greenland block evolves again. So the air is trying to come at us from east of Hawaii and also from west of Greenland and with a little infusion from off of Africa. Wow, and now we're close to 18 minutes and people are looking up here, just making the weather forecast. The calm before the storm is what we're in. It's so yeah, the and more today is going to feature us walking our dog and up in the trees, up in the hill, and nice nature sounds and views. And then around the corner to the Big Dig, we're going to get a state of the Weymouth concourse project over around the corner where you can't see from here. And then close it out with Mitt and Steve and a sunset and thinking of you, Chuck Stockdale, at the shed. We were having fun going back and forth. Sorry I missed the shed. Maybe I'll come down today. All right. Yesterday's weather today. It's called And More.
And more. It's only 9 a.m. I can see my breath now. One of the reasons we did not get down into the frosty level is because the air kept on moving last night because we were on the perimeter of the high, but now the air has stopped moving, but the sun is up. And there's Steve. We're down to 62 degrees inside the house. We're going to take advantage of one more day of passive solar heating and a warming trend, so the heat did not come on yet. I know it's a little silly, but we play these games in New England. Did you turn your heat on yet? No, we did not. Not yet. Good morning, moon. Who knows what the rest of the day will bring. What are you wagging your tail about? I'm just happy to be out the door. Midday. The flag is hanging, but the boats look like they're kind of pointed toward the west a little bit. And the temperature inside the house has come up to from 62 to 65. So the passive solar is working out. Andrew, what did you ask me about pulling your boat? When are the docks supposed to come out? Sounds of autumn, some crickets, dog walking through the leaves, and getting all excited to run across the street. There was a squirrel there just a second ago. You just missed it, Rex. Meantime, out of the corner of my eye, here at 1:30, 57, but a lot more comfortable 57 without the brisk wind, I saw a red cat moving through the backyard. Tell us, Houdini, how did you get out here? Look at all those birds. You can't see them, but there's like 30 swallows and sparrows in there. Want to see them fly over Mitt's head? There. Fly this way. Are those sparrows? How do you make them fly? Come on, you guys. Take off. Scram. There they go. You see that, Mitt? Mitt's kind of timid. The Maine Coon waddle. Let's see if I can flush Mitt. Come on, Mitt. He's not in a hurry. Not in a hurry Friday. It's so pretty. Want to help me move some porch furniture? I mean some summer furniture? Yeah. Gotta winterize the yard. It's always a storm threat like this that causes you to move a little quicker towards your winterization. Steve got the word that Mitt found his way out. You can come out too, Steve. Come on out. Charlie's coming over. We're gonna move some yard furniture so you guys won't have to get tangled every time we go out the door anymore. Mitt's right over there because you're faster and you do want to go run after animals as opposed to waddle. You get a line and you get to just be line free for now. What are you staring at, Mitt? Tourists. Waves. Yes, he moves furniture and he gets paid in cherry tomatoes. You get your warm ones, you get your cold ones, you get your cats by standing.
These are all perfect.
You get the boats headed over there for Captain's Cove, where there's a shindig going on this weekend. Can't tell you when or where, but hopefully we'll be there. And I love that vessel right there. I've heard it's got a luxury living space along with the research apparatus. Nice day for coming about or drying sails or whatever you're doing. Let's go for a walk down that direction. Check out the big dig around the corner. Atlas cedar pollen season is over, I think. There's the hawk sighting. State of the shelf stairs. The landing is ready. Some posts are in the ground. They screwed those right into the ground. That would have been impressive. They've got the burlap cooling the hardening concrete and the forms, new forms for the wall coming in or going out, I'm not sure. And that'll be the end of the concrete over there by Christmas, if not sooner. And again, Andrew told me that these docks are coming out next weekend. Hopefully we don't have a historic storm next weekend. Another view from this angle.
Yep. And, somebody got in the hurricane.
And see these sticks here? They're called red osier dogwood 3-foot live stakes. Hundreds of them were planted. Let's see if we can find a couple that rooted. They kind of blend, but there's one that did root. Osier dogwood. So we got at least one that survived, but most of them did not. And those look like sumacs. It's hard to tell the difference. Sorry, that looks like a dogwood, and that would be sumac down there. And poke. Other stuff. Black-eyed Susan's gone too. Seed. Hey, cutie. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What's going on? Hi. I know, Rex. It is a little sad putting the summer yard furniture away. A lot easier to mow, though. And maybe you won't get as tangled. Did you get tangled this morning? This is the last table to go. Kind of love this look right here as the sun hits the horizon on our Friday. Hello. Goodbye. We must be going now. Hope you caught some fish. I don't know where the fish markings went. Certainly no obvious sign of fish right now. No birds, no fish, but sunshine and beautiful. The calm before the storm. No frost for me, right? Chris, you did a tremendous job on your garden this year. Look at that. It's so gorgeous. It should last at least another couple weeks. I think you're doing well into Halloween, as long as this nor'easter ain't too
And a few minutes later, we'll wrap it up with Steve hanging 10, walking the board. He was just staring at me. I missed that. And these pretty black-eyed Susans. And our fleet of Wessagusset fisher people. Oh, something's marking over there. Head east. We're on it. Look at the boats coming from every direction, really. But let's try not to be in a hurry. Saturdays are good if you can get them. Chuck, it's Friday. I almost came to Cape Cod, but couldn't get off my leash. What an evening. So, thinking of you at the shed as the sun hits the horizon here in Weymouth. No frost for me. I know there was frost. Ed had some at Sundancers. Did you have frost on the van? Anyhow, story for if I were there of the outfit. This is Bert's belt, and he had to build a hole between the holes. Sorry for that, rated R. And he had made an extra hole to fit his body, and that's the same hole that fits TK's body. Things you will not see on Out the Door, weather, and more. Exclusive content.